Hi guys, welcome back to the Astrology. Today we are going to be doing a video for the transit of Jupiter into the sign of Gemini. And I'm recording this video for the sign of Leo, which means you can watch this video both from a Leo rising as well as Leo moon perspective. Now guys, Jupiter is in an Atichari movement and he is going to be traversing very fast, which means he is going to be making two sign changes in this year. But the first change, which is happening in the sign of Gemini, and it happens in May 14th, and it extends all the way till mid of October of 2025 itself, is what is being captured within the scope of this video. So we are going to be talking about Jupiter's transit into your 11th house, Leos, and we will not be touching upon the exaltation when it comes into the 12th house for you. So without further ado guys, let's jump into this video and try and understand that what exactly this transit holds for us starting from May 14th. Now, guys, as you can see on your screen here, Leos, for you, Jupiter is coming into your 11th house. You can observe this both from a Leo rising as well as Leo moon sign perspective. And Jupiter happens to be a very important planet for you. It's a Yogaraka planet almost in a way because he is responsible for your 5th house and for your 8th house, which means Jupiter brings in romance in your life. It brings in education. It is responsible for your investment strategies, your creativity. It is responsible for any kind of new startup that you embark upon. It showcases the kind of education that you get from a degree perspective, your university education. It is a reflection of your creative self in terms of the growth, the monetization, and fame that you can derive in life. At the same time, Jupiter is also responsible for speculation. It is responsible for sudden transformation, gains or losses. It is the lord of your 8th house, which means he is also responsible for any kind of research that you embark upon, any kind of knowledge that you gain in terms of occult studies, any kind of derivation that you find, any kind of spy thing that comes into your life where you go into the nitty gritties of things to solve and figure out what are the nuances behind it. When you go about doing a trade, it is that leap of faith, that speculation, which is also denoted with Jupiter. So he owns very critical portfolios for you. And in a way, you see, he's activating three important sthanas for you. 8th house is your unexpected gains, unexpected income, which is not earned by you but comes your way. And he is going and placing itself 4 places away into the 11th house, into the house of wish fulfillment, into the house of gains, desires, into the house of your own consistent stream of income, new avenues, side hustle that you can think of. So it's an important movement which is coming into play for you, Leos, and this is the right time. I know it is one of the tough periods with Saturn's transit into your 8th house, but this Jupiter is going to provide you such a respite in terms of tackling some of the issues, some of the unanticipated challenges that you are or you might be facing during the course of this transit. This Jupiter is going to help you provide a lot of respite. First and foremost, being the lord of 5th house and coming into your 11th definitely indicates that there is going to be a rise, there is going to be a gain, there is going to be a propelled movement which is going to come into place with respect to your knowledge, with respect to your creativity. Many of you who are currently studying, who are looking forward to get admissions into the right universities, or who are looking forward to come out of the universities and acquire the right job opportunities, Jupiter is going to play an extremely critical role in making those wishes come true for you. And this is important period, folks, that if you are listening to this video, Leos, that you continue to focus your effort in the right direction, because later Jupiter will transit into the 12,000 aspect 6th house. So that materialization of job, career prospects, etc. is definitely going to happen. But right now is the time to consistently put effort in the direction of your career. You have to use your brain, your sharpness, your ability to network with people, especially if you are studying right now, to network with colleagues, your alumnus, people around you, to see that what more can you extract during this period? How can you forge new connections and how they could be lucratively impacting you at a later point in time? Singles who are watching this video, guys, see, Jupiter rules your house of romance and he is coming into the 11th house. Now, of course, Jupiter is coming into the sign of Gemini, which in the Kal Purush chart is ruled in the third house itself, and that is the Maran Karaka position for Jupiter. So, the placement of Jupiter in Gemini in its enemical sign is not the greatest one, but the fact that he is placed in the 11th house in an Uchaya Bhava, he is going to reward you and he is giving an aspect back into the sign of Sagittarius. So, he is going to reward you with expansion, with success, coming in the house of or being the lord of romance or the fifth house itself. So you guys, Leos, can definitely anticipate some sort of a positive trigger coming in with respect to your relationships. You might get into new contacts, you might get into association with a new person at this point in time, and might get started with a relationship itself. Jupiter's aspect is into the third house as well. He's giving an aspect into your efforts, into your hard work. You might want to make an effort in that direction. And then he's giving an aspect into the seventh too, which means that the people who are already in relationships, this transit of Jupiter will also give you an opportunity to translate that relationship into marriage, into a formal association, into a bond. And I see for singles, for people who are aspiring to get married, for people who are aspiring to forge new relationships from platonic to romantic relationships, this is going to be a great period for you guys because Jupiter is going to provide that ample support which is required. Amongst all the turbulence that we've discussed, from a Saturn perspective, there is some bit of relief that comes in this direction. Now, of course, you have to understand that because Jupiter is the lord of the 8th house as well, that's there could be some level of suddenness. There could be an explicit change that might come in your relationships. It could be that there are certain circumstances that get forced where you have to immediately act upon it, or suddenly you get in contact with a person and you find yourself shaping a relationship when you least expected. But at the end of the day, it is going to be a positive change in your life. Remember, Saturn is giving an aspect back to its own sign of Sagittarius. There will be a lot of trust, belief, respect, association in that relationship. Then many of you who are already beyond this sphere of life, you will realize that your investments are going to be now reaping the benefits. You are going to be making good returns out of your investment strategies, which also means, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but this time around, I'm going to call out a caveat that even if you are in the sphere of trading, if you are into any kind of stock market industry, in terms of speculative gains as well, there is a possibility that you might find certain gains. But folks, remember, Saturn is placed in the 8th house. None of the predictions in astrology can be made in isolation. You have to combine all of these things together to see how it is going to pan out for you. So Jupiter being the lord of 8 is going to definitely also trigger some sort of unexpected gains come your way. Some of the unexpected changes in the form of speculative gains transpiring in your life. But I anticipate if that is done methodically, if it is done with a sincere approach, with a science behind it, with an educated guess, if I were to put it that way, then that will hold a stronger probability of giving you positive outcomes because Jupiter's presence in 11th is definitely promising you some gains. People who are looking forward to start something new, this is also going to be a period for you to rediscover things. If I have not called that out in my Saturn video, I'm really sorry and apology for that, guys. I will recommend you guys to go ahead and visit that video as well once more because it is going to be an important insight for you. But this particular movement, Jupiter being the lord of your 5th house and coming into the 11th, is going to also trigger some sort of gains for your startups. You might be looking forward to wrap up your old career stream. You might want to be looking to pivot within your current career itself. Now, that doesn't mean starting your new company, but it could also mean that if you are in a job, you might want to repivot, take up a different role, and then see that how you can derive gains for yourself. And that is a very strong possibility coming in for you folks, Leos. Then we have to understand here that From for many of you, the possibilities of will related gains, related gains, life insurance related gains could also become a priority. Now, I know personally I'm not a huge fan, and that is why I do not deep dive into such subjects. And I know my audience as well, you are not very enthralled about such kind of things, but the transit does give you that opportunity, and your natal combinations will confirm as to what would be the time period when it can pan out for you. But there is a definitive gain from that side. Now, coming back to the students, any person who's looking forward to get started with any kind of research, PhD engagements, they are looking forward to find admissions into any of those colleges. Even then, if you are planning to take up new courses, certifications, learn something in parallel to your job, all of those efforts during the period of Jupiter's transit in Gemini are going to come to fruition. First of all, you guys would have planned to take a lot into action, but have not materialized it probably just as yet. But during the course of this transit, you will take that to fruition, you will take that to completion, and that is going to be one of the other important factors which is going to come into play. Thereby, I highly recommend you guys, Leos, to immerse yourself into learning something new. Figure out what you can do different. Even if you are a house homemaker watching this video, I highly advise you see that what you can do. Can you cross yourself? Can you learn new music? Can you learn new ways of preparing food? Can you discover new mechanisms to find productivity in your home based activities? Many people do that. And you will see once you do that, you will find a lot of time for yourself. You will rediscover, regenerate yourself in a very different way. So that is going to be another important change that I see getting triggered for the Leos in this transit. Now, folks, let's try and understand from an aspects perspective as well as to exactly what this transit is going to entail for us. Jupiter being placed in the 11th house is going to also be responsible for expansion of your networks. It is going to be extremely important that no matter what sphere of life you come from, if you are a homemaker, expand around your neighbor segment because Jupiter is giving an aspect to your third house. If you are a student, expand into your student community, association with teachers, alumni network. That is going to be important in terms of generating some sort of a positive impact in your career. Working in corporations, in an employment sort of a field, or being self-employed, you will have to figure out as to how do you connect with more people in your industry, in your business segment, and see that how you can interface in terms of exchange of ideas. Because Jupiter is all about knowledge, it is about consulting, it is about advising, it is about talking something intelligent. And that is exactly what is going to bear the fruits of some positive outcome for you if you are able to do an exchange of ideas with people in your network. So instead of fidgeting on your mobile and just wasting time on less useful social networks, I would recommend you to go out. Maybe even starting connect with people online itself, but go out and meet the people, interface with folks. And that is going to be, in a way, addressing the challenges that Saturn would be throwing out at your end as well. Now, remember, Jupiter sitting in the 11th house is going to be giving an aspect to your third house. One tricky situation that can come into play is that there could be some level of procrastination, there could be some level of laziness which might creep in you. And this is where I would want to draw a word of caution because you will have to gear up. Saturn's transit is not easy, and thereby my recommendation has constantly been that Leos, you have to gear up, you have to not leave any stone unturned in terms of your efforts. And if you utilize your Jupiter's energy in the positive sense, then you will be able to find gains, additional gains through your sheer hard work itself. Not just leveraging your network and making sure that people are enabling you to do that, but your own hard work, your own effort with that aspect into the third house is going to become crucial now. Many of you might embark upon making new hobbies. You might want to start learning new things. It could be spiritual by nature. It could be about grasping new stuff. There is a high possibility that you are working in the banking industry and you want to understand as to how blockchain works in the technology field. You are working in a hotel as a chef and you might want to understand that what can be done differently in terms of customer experience. It may directly or indirectly entail to your life, but it is going to expand your understanding. It is going to expand your knowledge base. And that is what this Jupiter is going to help you with. This Jupiter is also going to be triggering some sort of a need for you to visit a place of worship nearby to your home within your city limits. I think if you face any kind of challenges, if you face any kind of complications, in fact, Leos, this is one of the best transits that's happening for you. There is not any negative that I could think of. But if you face any challenges, what you must do is that make a visit to a nearby place of worship, to a temple, church, mosque, whatever religion you come from, and just offer your prayers, bringing that level of spirituality in a close vicinity, or just driving down, taking a long drive outside the city limits and then returning back your home one of those evenings, listening into some religious hymns, bhajans, etc., is going to be so remarkably and positively uplifting for you. So you should not refrain from doing anything of that sort. This is also going to be a period where I see some sort of positive success coming into your siblings. They might find some sort of growth with respect to their education, childbirth, etc. Any of that kind of auspicious event could also come into the life of your siblings or even your neighbors. Now, you have to also understand here that this Jupiter will expect you to work hard. It will expect you to work hard because if you are, remember, Jupiter's aspect is into the house, which is naturally the Maran Karaka placement for Jupiter. So if you are not slogging your ass off during this period, be prepared that you will get diminished outcomes of your gains of what you can anticipate. And thereby, I cannot emphasize on the importance of doing so now. Jupiter is also giving an aspect to your fifth house. It is crucial for the growth of your kids. If you are parents watching this video, you are going to find a lot of involvement from your end with your family, with your kids. You are going to structure some sort of learning, some sort of preparatory model. Many of you might embark upon enrolling them into new courses, some vocational training, some kind of learning of music, gymnastics, trainings of some sorts, maybe during the summer camps and stuff, because Jupiter is anyways making a movement from May onwards, not for the southern hemisphere, but for the northern hemisphere at least, the summers are beginning, right? So from that perspective, you will find that there will be a lot more involvement from your side towards your kid. You would be even spending some time to either teach them, figure out certain hurdles that they need to overcome from an educational perspective, or maybe doing certain kind of initiatives that helps them embark upon their success in their careers from an education perspective, college admissions perspective. Many of you might be making inroads into preparation or starting putting in the foundation at this point in time into foreign college admissions for your kids, but it will materialize most probably in the later half of the year. So those kind of initiatives will also come into play, and I cannot emphasize the impact of new partnerships coming in your life. Of course, if you are married, marital bliss is going to expand for you. You are going to see some positivity. Remember, Lord of seventh, Saturn has moved into eighth. So some challenges will still be there, but Jupiter is going to at least provide you some relief from that perspective. But your business partners, partnerships in general, your formal partnerships in general are going to see a positive movement because you are going to bring a differentiated mindset. No matter how much struggle you are going through to the other party, you will try and make sure you bring the positive elements of your life, positive elements of your knowledge. And that is going to be crucial for you, Leos, because amongst all the turbulence that you go through, of the Ashtam Shani, this impact of Saturn, this mindset of Saturn, this positive shift of Jupiter, I'm sorry, folks, this positive shift of Jupiter in your life is going to be extremely transformative. So it's a very positive transit of Jupiter into the sign of Gemini, which is happening for you folks. This is an opportunity you should not squander by any chance. Please put your best foot forward. I'm very excited, guys, to listen into your comments, your feedback. If you've loved this video, if you sense the positivity in here, please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and tell me, how do you plan to make sure that you are going to make the best use of the time that is coming ahead? All right? Keep watching Dev Astrology.